That was Skip Bayless. And I have no idea what that was about. I mean, seriously, what was that about? Looks like he was auditioning for a movie character, Man Who Rubs One Out. Welcome to Shut Up Football. I'm Jeff Stoltzfus, that's Kevin, and this week we're talking about adult diapers, Mr. Potato Head, and a new tooth fairy comes to town as we take a look back at week 12 of the NFL season. Hit it! Look away, children, unless you're into toe kink. Aaron Rodgers fractured his pinky toe. We know this because he showed us. Yeah, man, we know what toes look like. Thanks. Why did he show us? Because on the Pat McAfee show, Pat and Aaron joked about him having COVID toe, which is not a thing. It never was a thing. Aaron Rodgers, who has the comic delivery of a British grandfather on sedatives, made a joke, and someone reported it as if it were real. Rodgers injured his toe while working out during his quarantine from COVID, a very relatable thing. We've all seen reports of people coming out of COVID yoked to the tits. A very strange news story, and the only winner is foot fetish Packers fans, of which I assume there are many. Well, the Green Bay Packers offered their public stock offering, which running back A.J. Dillon took advantage of so he could call himself self-employed. Baller move. You don't actually own anything. This is actually just a donation for upgrades to the stadium. It's like giving to charity, which I'm sure everyone also did. Please think of others less fortunate this holiday season, like Lions fans. And finally, I still have no idea what's up with this Skip Bayless video. Why did he post this? Was he looking at Aaron Rodgers' toes? Oh. Hey, if you like football and dumb jokes, like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We have fun here. And now it's time to take a look back, all the way back to last week. It's time for the recap. Lions, Bears. Ah, Thanksgiving, a great day to eat your feelings. Sentient gingerbread man Andy Dalton got the start for the Bears. Andy Dalton versus Jared Goff is the most exciting thing I can think of. So glad I can spend it with my drunk uncle and his 7 levels of halitosis. The game went as expected. The highlights were few. A 70-yard punt that doinked a guy in the head. Amari Oruwariye took the ball and fed his teammates. Jared Goff said, "First you have to learn how not to lose," which sounds like mindless stoner crap. When did Jared Goff become Matthew McConaughey? Peddle your patchouli-smelling homemade cross-stitch somewhere else, you dirty hippie. During the game, O.J. Simpson posted a video critiquing the Lions' play calling, and if you've lost the juice, you've lost America. Good luck trying to murder your way out of this one. Despite a woeful season, this was a winnable game for the Lions. Jared Goff was making plays and the Bears were on their heels. Psst, I got a secret. They're gonna fire me any day now. That's not a secret, coach. Raiders, Cowboys. With Lamb and Cooper out, Michael Gallup and Cedric Wilson would pick up the slack. Middle-aged baby Hunter Renfrow had a career day with 8 catches and 134 yards. The Raiders lost Darren Waller. Good thing he only makes up 80% of their offense. 28 penalties were called in the game against the Cowboys. Jerry Jones talked about the penalties in what could also double as a video for Billionaire Speaks About the Apocalypse from His Underground Bunker. If you like field goals, this was the game for you. Daniel Carlson had 5. Carr said when the game winner went through, he got goosebumps. Later, Carlson showed up in a cowboy hat to eat turkey. Expert level trolling. Carlson had food poisoning on Monday, but if he had to play the game in an adult diaper, he'd do so. I'd like to think that came to pass. Just something about a man wearing a diaper and a cowboy hat eating turkey on my TV. Well, that Derek Carr is what gives me goosebumps. I'm weird. Bills, Saints. Saints chose their color rush jersey for the day. White. Not the best choice to take a beating in. I would have gone with some form of red and brown. Dawson Knox had 2 of Josh Allen's 4 touchdowns. Lil Jordan Humphrey was the Saints' top receiver. Now you're just making names up. Was the Shaq McJackson there too? Matt Breida saw more time, but then was benched for running the wrong way on a screen. Coach doesn't trust anyone to hold the ball in this backfield. Maybe start small, watch his dogs for a weekend, work your way up. Bills cheers turkey legs after. Don't worry about the variants, boys. We'll come out of it swell as hell, and it'll only cost us a toe. Steelers, Bengals. In an AFC North more turbulent than my underpants after chili night, it was anyone's guess which team would rise victorious. A couple of Joes sorted that out quick. Burrow may look like boat shoes, but he played like work boots. He ran his stupid little legs and kicked the door in on 6. Mixon used his 2 touchdowns as an audition tape for Dancing with the Stars. Here were some phrases used after: humiliating, embarrassing, blowout, rusty trombone. T. Higgins had over 100 yards and a touchdown. Joe Burrow smoked an invisible cigarette and called him a bitch. Ben Roethlisberger must have had a hysterectomy because he couldn't reproduce his performance from last week. His arm wasn't the problem. He was only dead from the neck up. Flinging a pair of interceptions. The first to Eli Apple, who sashayed his way back to the 5. The second was to his former teammate Mike Hilton, a snake in the grass who bit him right in the dick. The Bengals choked the Steelers until their eyes went still and their skin turned pale. God damn, when did I get so violent? They won. The Bengals won. Chill out. Buccaneers, Colts. Sometimes one play is all you need to know about a game. This is that play. The Colts and the Bucks tangled like 2 socks in a dryer, but we all know only one is coming out. Leonard Fournette, meet Leonard 4 touchdowns. He added over 100 yards too. Who needs a goat? Wentz was slinging the rock like a pusher. Down the hatch to Doyle for a touchdown. T.Y. Hilton too. Big plays like this to Ashton Dulin are the kind that give Carson Wentz the confidence he needs to then do stupid shit like this. In the fray, Vita Vea lost a tooth. Right there. I think it happened right there. I hope he got the tooth back, so he can put it under his pillow for the tooth fairy. And then, when she comes, grab the bag of teeth, the source of her power. Strip her of her magic and send her to a watery grave. Cry havoc and let loose the demons as Vita Vea rises, the new dark prince of teeth. Panthers, Dolphins. Oh, holy night. What a ride these teams have been this year. Tua was sufficient. If he keeps this up, I might be forced to learn his last name. Tagovailoa. Not today. Jalen Waddle was strutting his farts all over the place. Tua put one in tight space for 6 and Waddle did a penguin dance, I guess. Oh, he waddled. I get it. That's gangsta. Cam Newton was so bad, fans wanted Sam Darnold back. I'm just kidding. That's never happened. The Dolphins snacked on sacks, and then they picked Cam's bones clean. Christian McCaffrey was back for like 5 seconds before he rolled his ankle, officially done for the year. But instead of dumping on Carolina, let's celebrate the Dolphins for 4 wins in a row. Not bad for a team named after the rapist of the sea. The Dolphins are like the ugly girl in 90s movies. She started the season wearing glasses and overalls, but now she's hot as hell, and every jabroni in school is dying to finger bang her. Get in line, you sluts, and produce your credentials. You need at least a GED to get inside me. Titans, Patriots. The Titans and the Patriots played a game. I mean, kinda. With their top receivers out, the Titans ran Dontrell Hilliard and Deontay Foreman. Amazingly enough, that's the part that worked. Unfortunately, not much else did. Mac Jones was efficient. He ruled with an iron fist and a velvet glove. It helps to throw the ball to Kendrick Bourne. He made big gains out of deep balls, and sobriety walked the sideline to a score. The Titans now own the record for the most players used in a season. Congratulations on your win. This game was more like donating blood. At least give them a cookie and some juice. Eagles, Giants. After looking like they finally hit their stride last week, the Eagles dropped a giant turd in MetLife Stadium. Daniel Jones threw a ball at tight end Chris Merrick's nuts, and he caught it with his knees. His knees! Jesus Christ. Hurts threw triple interceptions, also known as a menage de toilette. Hurts made up for it late, placing 2 very catchable balls into Jalen Reagor's very uncatchable hands. He dropped both like they were covered in baby oil. Don't judge my nightlife. Maybe if he had Chris Merrick's knees for hands. I'm not saying he's a surgeon, but I know a guy. Philly fans have seen this before. Jalen Reagor is just Nelson Aguilar 2.0. Much will be made this offseason about Hurts and Coach Guy who lives in a van, but they really need a wide receiver. Just some unsexy base model, steady as she goes free agent signing. We just need hands. In fact, he should be mostly hands and feet. And you can take his parts off and move them around. You know what? I think I'm describing Mr. Potato Head here. I'd take Mr. Potato Head over Jalen Reagor. Falcons, Jaguars. What do you think he's listening to? Yanni? ASMR? Marvin Jones made this amazing one-handed catch. Someone get him a map to Philadelphia. I'm so old I remember when Cordarrelle Patterson was a bad wide receiver. This year he continues to be one of my favorite oddities. Patterson exploded for 2 touchdowns and a $108 rushing. Before the game he was even launching bombs to the fans. This guy does everything except play defense. Now, Matt Ryan said, I think our best football is still ahead of us. I agree. It's probably lurking somewhere in next season or beyond. Hope you're here for it. Jets, Texans. Zach Wilson is back and he's earned the starting job. In that everyone else tested positive for COVID. Wilson ran one in for a touchdown, which just makes sense when you're throwing interceptions like this. I wish that stupid defender didn't get in the way. Now we'll never know how that play was supposed to end.
Okay, everybody. No look, hot potato, spider, white banana. Break.
I still have a lot of questions about this Texans team. Like, is that guy on the left playing upright bass? Jazzy. But more important, who are the building blocks on this team? Will anyone be back next year? Sooner or later, that submarine hatch is going to open, and not everyone will make it to the surface. Chargers, Broncos. Justin Herbert played a sloppy little game of maybe my receiver. Tossing balls in all directions. Who will catch it? Maybe my receiver? Sometimes yes, but twice, not so much. Patrick Surtain opened Herbert's mail twice in his game, a federal offense. Javonte Williams might not be the smartest man on the field, but on one play, he made everyone else look stupid. Bridgewater gave Joey Bosa a hand job to the face before scoring. What is that not what it's called? Oh, stiff arm. That's what I meant. The Chargers never got it going. Maybe it's the elevation that gives teams trouble, or maybe it's that giant horse demon that watches over the game and demands sacrifice. Rams, Packers. Despite their big acquisitions, the Rams have been dropping games. Stafford's woes continued against the Packers D. A.J. Dillon nutted out the tough yards through heavy traffic and incidental penetration. Aaron Donald tried to rip a man's throat apart, but the official waved him off. No flag was thrown. Thank God it wasn't taunting. Aaron Rodgers even ran for a touchdown. Busted toe my ass. That sounds weird. Vikers, 49ers. Elijah Mitchell ran for 133 yards and a touchdown. He continued to be the rug that ties the room together, unlike Trey Sermon, who withers in the corner like an IKEA bookshelf you gave up on. Debo stole everyone's bikes. He had 66 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns, running like a bully. Sadly, he left early with the boo-boos. Brandon Ayuk led all receivers in yards, and not Shanahan Iyer. Not bad for a man who's been sleeping in the doghouse since August. On 4th down, Kirk Cousins lined up behind the guard instead of the center. He's got $84 million guaranteed. The fuck does he care? Browns, Ravens. Lamar Jackson made highlight reels for both teams. The Browns' run game was non-existent, and the Ravens stuffed their chub all night. Lamar had 4 interceptions. Unfortunately, the Browns couldn't do dick with it. David Njoku caught a touchdown, or maybe he didn't. Nobody really knows. Somehow it became the Schrodinger's cat of touchdowns. Nobody wanted to be responsible for calling it. Despite all the picks, Lamar made 2 stupid crazy plays, and they were both to Mark Andrews. Lamar scrambled from pressure and punched one into the sky. Andrews snuck a paw out and palmed it one hand as if to say, "This is all I do. Have mercy." But the second one was completely different, in that it was almost the same. Lamar ran around, launched the ball to Mars, and Andrews caught it in the end zone. Their website says it's a 53-man roster, but I only see 2. Seahawks football team. The team, who shall not be named, held the lead all night, slowly whittling down the Seahawks into a fine point and then writing their obituary with it. Alex Collins and DJ Dallas turned 10 touches into 18 yards. I'm pretty sure there's more than 18 yards from the bench to the huddle. Did they get winded? Antonio Gibson ran for 111 yards, and he could have had 2 touchdowns too, if not for that meddling kid and professional fantasy vulture J.D. McKissick. Coach Rivera demanded fealty. Bring me the ass of Russell Wilson. Yes, my lord. While Coach Carroll took a different approach.
The baby goes burpee.
Okay, old man. The fuck? Gerald Everett scored a touchdown and tried to jump into the stands, but Washington fans weren't having it. Rasheem Green blocked a kick with his face and then ran it back for a score. Kicker Joey Sly was lost. I don't mean he wandered off or was killed by wolves. After his field goal was blocked, Sly tried to chase it down but injured his hamstring. Running sucks. This meant Riverbutt Ron was even more compelled to go for it on 4th downs. But the Hawks weren't done yet. As is customary in their tradition, they farted around for most of the game and then let Russell Wilson walk on water to bring them back. Everybody forgot about Freddie Swain, who found himself alone in the end zone.
It happens all the time,
he said, eyes welling with tears.
Nobody loves Freddie.
The Hawks were a 2-point conversion away from tying the game they were never truly in, but it wasn't to be. Football team holds strong. Russell Wilson has now been beaten by Colt McCoy and Taylor Heineke in back-to-back weeks. Stock in mediocre white boys is at an all-time high. The Seahawks face the Niners next week. Push your chips to the middle on Jimmy Garoppolo.
And that's it. That's our show. Thank you so much for watching Shut Up Football. We'll catch you next week. Peace!
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.